every time I talk to you, I end up with a life lesson. This doesn't make any sense, Dwayne Johnson.
Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Good to see you.
You're no stranger to the ring, and I want to know if it's possible to actually separate your everyday struggles with the time you are spending on a ring. Like, does that come together when you're about to fight? How does that work?
Back in wrestling days, when I
Yes.
was wrestling, you know, you try to separate them. And wrestling was hard. Physically, yes. But I think it's the emotional toll that wrestling takes on, that you take on when you're a pro wrestler, because there's no seasons involved. And so it's all year round, every night in a different city. And it takes its toll on your, not only your body and you psychologically, but also it just takes its toll on relationships. And that's the thing that hurts most. It takes its toll on a marriage. It takes its toll on, you know, and I was a new daddy, you know, back when I was wrestling. So it was hard. It's hard to separate. You know, you want to leave your issues, and everybody has issues and problems. You want to leave them in the locker room. You don't want to take them out into the ring. But I'll tell you this, what helped me was the fact that it was pro wrestling and the fact that it was performative combat, because then I had actually a place. It's almost like going out on stage as an actor where, oh, I got a place to put all this shit that I've been dealing with at home, and I can bring it right into the ring.
Benny, thank you for having me. Congratulations on such an amazing film.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you, while exploring Mark Hare's story, did you find that somehow, or how did you find everyday life reflects on ring? Like, does that have anything to do with anything?
Totally. You know, I think that, like, you can take the ring and substitute for anything else, like just what you do in life. And then I find that I wanted to explore the outside, so that that would affect how you looked at the inside. You know, you'd understand the other side of who these people are. Mark would always say to me, I happen to be a fighter. That's what I did for a living. I was really good at it, but then at the same time he feels bad about what he does. And so there's a contradiction there. He's this really sweet guy, but also at the same time, he's not treating some people very well. He's very selfish, and he would say that I was uniquely selfish and I didn't give the people the love that they deserved. And the fact that he could say that to me was so beautiful, that, like, here you have somebody who is willing to accept their faults and try to be better. And I thought, that's a really remarkable thing that we could all learn from, you know?
I still find unbelievable how great you were as a wrestler and how great you are as an actor. It's like, people don't get that chance twice as you have, and I think you've nailed it.
Oh, Gabby, thank you.
You know that, you know what I think.
Thank you.
And that actually leads me to ask you, because Mark Hare says that there's no other feeling like winning. And I wanted to ask you, have you found any equivalency on what you do nowadays and on performing and entertaining people?
That's a great question. I love it. I feel like when I was in my 20s and 30s, my relationship with winning meant something much different than it does today. My relationship today with winning, like a win to me, and I know this may sound weird, but a win for me is just to be at peace. And I'm at peace with my decisions, at peace with my whatever film I do or whatever role I take or my decisions. I say no these days more than I ever have in my life. And that gives me great peace, because I feel like as we roll along in life, you know, we have a tendency to people come and ask us for some, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And yes, I'll do that. And maybe you're ambitious and you want to do more and more and more and more. These days, I start off with, no.
We're getting older, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say no. Like,
it's hard to say no, but it's so empowering when you say no, and it gives you great peace.
Definitely. My psychologist always says that if you never say no, your yes are not valuable.
That's right.
Which
That's
is,
right.
Yeah, it is
So now
true.
when I say yes to something, people are like, oh my God, he just said yes.
Thank you for saying yes to this interview. I feel special. I obviously believe that Dwayne was the best choice you could have.
Oh my God,
ever
there's nobody
found.
else.
But I have to ask you, because obviously he's no stranger with a ring, and obviously in a different way. But were there any things that you needed to help him unlearn to create this character?
Well, the thing is, he had to learn so many new things, specifically with MMA, how to do these techniques and everything. But what we mainly talked about was just emotions, you know, how we feel about life. how certain things make us feel. And by having those conversations, it's like it puts you in tune with yourself. And so that's what I saw something in him that I related to, you know, and I wanted to help him bring that out because I felt that it would be great for the world to see that the guy who you love and takes care of you also has this other side to him, you know, because it was so meaningful to me to see that. And it's also that, like, the people you see in the world, you don't know what they're going through. You have no idea. And so you take a lot of things for granted. And if you just kind of look at the world that way, then it's a little bit better, maybe.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, I have to ask you this because I think you have an amazing eye for actors, and I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that you put them in roles that we never expected to see them in. I wanted to ask you, how have you developed that eye? Like, what is it that makes you have that sense of who could be great?
It's just about getting to know people, you know? It's like if you just look at the person and you connect. And if that happens, it's like, oh, I know we can get a great performance working together because we can be honest with each other, you know? If you're in a place, in a position where you feel like you're having to pretend, you're gonna get a false performance, you know?
Definitely.
So.
Did you find anything about Dwayne surprising, maybe something that you were not expecting at all?
The fact that I can ask him to do almost anything. We could have crazy conversations about emotional complexity, and to see how he interpreted those things was so awesome. And how his relationship to the camera, he knows where to go, and he knows where to be, and he's working with the camera in a way that's really special, you know?
I also think that you would never find a stunt double for Dwayne Johnson.
And it's interesting because, like, there's a couple, you know, who are really good. But I wanted in his fights, I said, I really need to see you doing this stuff. I don't want the audience to feel like we're cutting around your abilities here. And that meant he was putting himself on the line, you know? And I think that really was, it just showed his commitment, you know, his level of commitment there.
You guys did a great job. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
I would like to also ask you about the importance of learning to lose, because I think that's a topic that's very important in this film. And I wanted to know, how have you dealt with it throughout your career as well? Because losing can be so many things.
Well, nobody wants to lose.
No.
You know, everybody wants to chase the win and to win at something, and that you want to accomplish the thing that you want to accomplish. But that's not life, and you get knocked down and you fail and you lose. My relationship these days with failing at something or a failure, much different than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. These days, I do my best to quickly embrace it, absorb it, try to understand the lesson, really try and think back and go, oh, well, how could I have been better? Or how could have this thing been better? But it was so important for us just in the movie, because it's not your traditional kind of sports biopic film. Yes, Mark Kerr at one time was the greatest MMA fighter on the planet, and he lost. And he had a hard time losing. He battled demons and addictions. He overdosed twice. He came back. He's still alive today. He's happy. He's at peace. But this idea of losing, this concept, and I want to give Benny Safdie his flowers because it's so important here, because it's a gutsy thing to do. It's a gutsy movie, I think, to make, in that it's a little spoiler, but he doesn't win everything. And he doesn't go off like with his arms in the air and he's holding the title and everyone's so happy. It's the opposite. And I think the gutsy move on Benny Safdie's part was, can I make this film where at the end, your central character, in real life, he loses. But it's okay, and he's happy, and he's at peace. And if I do it right, Benny said, I bet you people will leave the theater emotional, but feeling good.
How come every time I talk to you, I end up with a life lesson? This doesn't make any sense, Dwayne Johnson. Thank you so much for your time.
It's tequila. It's always good to see you.
Always
Great
good
to see you,
too.
Gabby.
Thank you so much. Let's go.
Estrella.
Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.